Welcome for those who are just joining us. I am Dr. Willie Jolley, and this is my beautiful bride, Dee Taylor-Jolley. We're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We want to welcome you wherever you are. We've been having people, I see Linda and Greg on Williamsburg, Virginia today.
Near William and Mary?
Near William and Mary somewhere, I assume. And
where our son went to school.
Our son went to college there. That's
yes.
right. And they're there with their youngest son and his 4 kids. I didn't know you had that many grandkids.
Wow, how nice.
That's great. Enjoy that time with the grands. Okay, people, let's see what announcement we want to welcome everybody. We want to say that we are excited that so many people are responding to our invitation to join us on Wednesday night for our relationship repair series. And we're getting more and more people signing up and getting the past sessions and getting them already, as well as the bonus session we did, and signing up for the one that will come up on this Wednesday night. And then what else? This Wednesday and
our next session.
Our next session is coming up. Mm-hmm. It's coming up Wednesday, though.
Our next session.
Okay.
That's about money.
They had 8 grandchildren. Marriage. Wow. Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about wonderful. Money and marriage, and it's complicated. It's complicated about the money, the
marriage and family,
the romance,
the next
the finance
session. The one that's coming up is marriage and money.
The one that's coming up is marriage and money.
The one that's coming up is marriage and money. Then family matters. Then blended families.
We got some good stuff for you coming up. All right, let's get going. We got a lot to do. Welcome to everybody again. Make love, make money, make it last. Go get a free chapter if you've not had one from jollymarriage.com. Let's go. Let's roll. Let's get it on. Our next session we're going to talk about is complicated. Money and marriage. And so that said, we're going to do a little deep. We're going to cover some things that we talk about money that you
tonight. Our specific topic is the question is, what do you do when you're not on the same page with your money?
That's bad. That creates a bunch of problems. Okay, so let's get back to the
specific question.
The specifics. There are 3 things that break up marriages. We've notated over and over again. 3, not 3 things, but 3 big boulders and lots of little pebbles.
The top 3.
The top 3. Sex, money, communication.
And we started our series really with communication because that's the common thread. You got to communicate, talk about body language, some kind of way you have to share with the other person, with your spouse, how you feel about what are your issues. Communication then becomes essential.
Communication. And chapter number 10 in the book is Count the Cost. Money matters. Because we say in the book that you're not just, marriage is not just a love relationship. It's also a merger of 2 entities, 2 companies. It's a merger of 2 proponents of the individuals that come together, and they got to weave, cleave, and leave. Or
leave,
weave, and cleave.
Mm-hmm.
No, weave, leave, cleave, and weave. Mm-hmm. Okay. And part of that is money. Okay. Terrence says a great one. Get the book before you get hooked. And if you're hooked, you need this book. Only Clarence.
Send us those.
Oh, that was a good one, Terrence. You got to send us that one. Get the book before you get hooked. And if you're hooked, you need to get this book. And I'll come up with one more line on there somewhere.
So where do we put those little sayings like that?
I don't know.
We need to put them somewhere.
We got to put them somewhere. Okay, let's get into this money.
Okay, so the specific question that we're answering tonight is, so what do you do when you're not on the same page about your money?
Let me read from the book. Many couples are so busy being romantic that they forget to talk about anything practical. like personal finances. Money management is not a romantic subject, but marriage should be seen as entering into a financial as well as a romantic partnership. That's from financial planner Cheryl Garrett. And she is so right about that. We put it in the book because so many people don't talk about the money. And then they have expectations. What is that? Unrealistic expectations. And they don't talk about the money. Then something comes up financial and the world falls apart around them because they didn't talk about the money. They end up leaving and breaking up. I had a conversation with a dear friend of mine, and I asked him, why did your sister and her husband break up? They seem to be such a lovely couple. He said, they were doing a business together, but then they didn't talk about the money.
What does that mean? They were doing a business.
They had a some sort of mortgage or title or some kind of business right before 2008. And when the bubble burst for real estate, or the financial bubble burst in 2008, they did not communicate effectively, and they started blaming each other for the problem because the money got tight. And here's what I say, folks. That is why we go back to the communication, what Dee just said, how important it is. So we're going to talk about a few things. She has housekeeping first. Go ahead, Dee. What is housekeeping?
I don't
share this program with at least 3 people
that you care about.
That you care about. 3 people. We want you to share it with at least 3 people that you care about. Number 2, invite 3 people to join us on this weekly program, and then tell them to join us on our relationships.
Facebook, and TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
And then tell them to join us on our series, Relationship Repair Series. It's a great series, a small investment to help you with big problems in marriage.
All right, let's go back to the specific question. So what to do when you are not on the same page? You're married and you're not on the same page
about
your money. So here's some 5 things.
Okay.
Rid yourself of your pride.
That's hard to do for a lot of folks.
So let me go through the 5, and then you can unpack and you can tell me what you think.
All right.
Rid yourself of your pride. Okay. Admit that there's a problem in your household with your finances. Okay. Identify your money mindset, because your mindset, how you each view money, can be very different. So that's why there can be a challenge with one person who might be a spendthrift and
I gotta say this for Terrence. He said, "You see, I have a big problem with finance. Money is very romantic to me. I need help, specifically when I brought those diamond rings."
Terrence,
we gotta pray for you.
Okay, so one, rid yourself of your pride. Number 2, then you can admit that there's a problem, because sometimes one doesn't want to say, "Well, there's just simply not enough money," or
there's money management issues. Okay.
So admit there's a problem. If you get yourself of your pride, then you can admit, we got a problem. Yeah, let's sit down. We've got to talk about it. Okay. Then identify what your money mindset is. So you've got to open up and say, you know what? This is always how I have dealt with money, or this is how I see money.
That's this is how I was raised about money.
Right. It's very important that you have that conversation. So you're looking through the same prism, or you're looking through the same.
Or at least you can, if you can't see through the same prism, you can at least understand the prism they're looking through.
Right.
Okay.
So you got to identify your money mindset. No, I'm just going to give you that one yet.
I got something to say.
And decide to be on the same page with what you're reading and or podcasting, such as a very popular Get Out of Debt is Dave Ramsey. That's like number 1, along with Susie Orman. Okay.
I got something to say about each one of these. Go ahead.
All right. So you got to read, just like we tell people to read the Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last book to get on the same page. If you're having money issues, once you get rid of the pride thing and you admit that there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
You talk about this is how I see money, and you understand how each other might be challenged in how they view money. Then the next thing you have to decide, what are we going to learn to help us get out of debt, control our money, or know where our money is, right?
Yes.
So that's books, that's podcasts, it's a program, whatever it is for you. You both need to do it so you can learn to be on the same page, right?
Yep.
and then submit to a system. Or say submit to a system. Okay, so this is what I understand what the problem is. This is what we read. Now, are you going to do it? And are you going to do it means that you must submit yourself to doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4 in order to get it done. That's it.
Okay, let me go through some of these points you brought up, because I think that they are academic. I think they are cognitive.
I don't think it's cognitive to
let me have my say. This sometimes we don't agree. Okay, folks, just so you know that we don't argue. We haven't had an argument in 35 years, but we don't agree. I don't agree with that list that you came up with at all. Get rid of your pride.
Where are you gonna be sleeping tonight? It's a conversation.
I'll be sleeping right next to you where I always sleep. That's how I'll be sleeping. All right, so let me first start with this first one. Get rid of your pride. What does that have to do with money management, Dee?
Because people come with hard, fast ideas that they know it all.
That's one option. You're making an assumption. You're making an assumption that the reason people have money.
The reason that they're having issues
is because they have different philosophies.
Have their own way of looking at it. So you have to be willing to say, all right.
But how about if you don't think their way is right? That got nothing to do with right. That just means y'all.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does.
Okay, so we disagree on that point. Let's go to point number 2. Point number 2, go ahead.
You have to have a conversation. That's the communication.
All right, go point number 2. Go into point number 2. I disagree with that one. Pride, I don't think that had much to do with financial issues. It has a little bit when somebody says, well, you know, the husband's supposed to.
I'm right about how I handle it or expenses my way is the only way of doing it, or I disagree.
Okay,
once you break down
a little bit of pride, but some of them sometimes.
Once you choose to let your defenses down, then you both can have a conversation.
But here's what I'm saying. That it might be because of the way they were raised, i.e.
I haven't gotten to that yet, sweetheart.
Okay, so let's go to number 2. That's why I said I don't agree with pride, but I'll deal with that later in the conversation. We're going to deal with that on the next session too of the relationship series. We're going to go a deep dive. Go ahead.
You have to admit that there's a financial problem.
That's usually pretty obvious. You don't have to admit that. Usually it's very obvious. Y'all are fighting over money. That's obvious.
That there's a problem.
I'll give you.
Some people are fighting because one won't accept the fact that the finances are jacked up. That's what
when you have more money than you have money, it's gonna be pretty obvious pretty quick. Okay, go ahead to the next one.
Okay, you're disagreeing.
I kind of give you a little bit. I give you a little bit on that one. The first one, and by the second one,
pride goes before a fall. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay. Discuss your money mindset.
Now, that one I agree with. Well, how do you see money and why do you see it that way? I.e.
the how and the why is very important. You have to be willing to unpack it. But sometimes people don't want to talk about it. That's why I say you got to get rid of the pride.
But you're assuming it's pride that's stopping them from talking about it.
Is it stupidity?
That might be it. I'm not going to say that in there. It might be pride. It might be stupidity. It might be the way they were raised. There's a lot of factors. So that always had to be pride.
The money mindset.
Let's talk about the money mindset. Your parents had a certain way of seeing money. Money doesn't grow on trees. Your money is they hold on to every penny. My mama, great example, was born in 1915, and her mother and father separated, divorced within 2 years of her being born, and she went to live with her father. Her father took custody of her, and he raised this child by himself. And in 1929, when she was 14 years old, he worked for the railroad. He had invested all his savings in stocks for her college education and for their future. As you all know, 1929, there was a smart stock market crash. People lost everything. He was going to kill himself, except when he got home before he killed himself, he looked at the little girl, this 14-year-old girl, and said, I'm all she got. I can't do that. But it scarred them so much that my mother, went on to become a teacher and never talked about stocks. She was afraid of stocks. She was not comfortable with stocks. She was not willing to put any money in stocks. And so she worked as a school teacher, had a stream of revenue from there. She had a stream of revenue from her World Book Encyclopedia. She sold those. She had another stream of revenue from her network marketing activities with Dynamite and different ones she did. And then she had a stream of income from renting a floor in our home to college students.
She was an entrepreneur. She was a successful entrepreneur, but she just didn't.
She didn't trust stock. So that was something I never heard of. I never learned about. I never had access to, and probably had somewhere along the way. She probably said, something not positive about stocks and bonds because of her experience. So I say that to say, yes, part maybe how people came to the party as a marriage, that they had predisposition, or they were, there are three types of people. There are ways you learn in life. You're imprinted, you're imprinted, you're impressed, imprinted, and inspired. All right. When you were born, you were imprinted with certain factors. You're right-handed. That came out. The way you speak, usually because of your parents, your eye color, your skin color, your that's all in your DNA. So that's imprinted. Boom. Then as you go through school, you're impressed with learning. Teacher teach you, preachers teach you, my parents teach you. If you were born in France, you're impressed with French language. You're born in America, you're impressed with English language. So you're imprinted, you're impressed, and then you're impacted and inspired. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now the impacted and inspired people who you come along, or a book you read, something that changed your life.
Or expands your thinking.
All right, so that said, money is one of those things that you're typically taught. You're impressed on you rather than impact.
Or you're not taught at all, or there's an absence of that right. Knowledge altogether.
Right.
So you agree with number 3?
Yes, and so
that you have to think through what you've already done. How did I learn about money?
I learned about money from taking some courses, and when I was in college, about stocks and bonds.
Why did you decide to learn about stocks and bonds and things in college when you didn't learn about it at home?
Because I had been impressed by somebody who said that you can create wealth in stocks, and I didn't know anything about it. So I took a course at American University in stocks. Now, one other thing, my grandmother impressed upon me how important it was to save money. She said, you got to save money. You got to save money. And when she died, she had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. She was a hairdresser, what they call a hairdresser, beauty shop.
A stylist.
A cosmetologist. But now Terrence just said he was talking to a young man who, after the death of his grandfather, they found $100,000 in the backyard because that generation didn't believe in banks.
Absolutely.
All right. Now my mother did finally get into banks, but you're right, Terrence, and others have struggled with this. So that's one of the things. Now, what say you got one person who comes from that kind of life or family who didn't talk about money, never talk. Did your parents talk to you about money? About how to grow wealth? And they were great entrepreneurs.
No.
All right. They didn't talk about it. So and then you come with another family who came from,
well, for me, wait, let's not gloss over that. So my parents were entrepreneurs as well as my father worked in a entrepreneurship building and dry dock company.
And had a beauty shop, and had a
beauty
barber shop,
a
and
barber
had a
shop,
grocery store,
and
had a laundromat.
But we never had, I didn't, and my brother and I talked about that. We just did it. We all worked. Everybody pitched in. But I never had the conversation as to, we're doing this because this is how you build wealth. And for me, as I've said this before, when we talk about the money personalities, which we will, when we unpack this on Wednesday, I was indifferent. When I said I was indifferent,
you didn't think about money.
It was just always there. We worked, and it was always there.
And
we had cars, we had
beautiful cars, had nice house.
They worked extremely hard because they head down, they were working with the grocery store and the laundromat to bring the money home. We learned how to count money, stack the pennies, the quarters, the nickels, the dimes, all that. But the philosophy of this is how we build our independence. This is we did not get that.
Right.
But we got the work ethic.
Right. So, okay. So what we want to talk about with this, we want to give a couple solutions here. Okay. One of the problems we get over and over again, people who have arguments about money because there's not enough money at the end of the month, or somebody goes outside the budget, or some of them don't have budgets because they don't have a system. Now, we talk about in this book over and over again the systems. There are systems to keep you from arguing. There are systems to keep you on track, and there's systems to keep you from being financially insecure.
May I say, the system doesn't matter if you don't submit to it.
Okay. We agree on one. We agree on something.
Oh my goodness!
Ooh, we agree.
That was my number 5.
That's true.
So you can have you can have the information. You can read from the same book, but if you don't submit, I commit that I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter.
By the way, you're mighty cute.
Thank you. You trying to squeeze up on me for later. I know what you're doing. Let's go. Hurry up. Let's go.
All right. So. Money matters. Count the cost. So what are some of the points of the count the cost money matter?
I said you didn't discuss read from the same book. Okay, so you have different
read from the same book. This is the book to read from. Okay.
You have a different philosophy or mindset as to how you see money. So now you're talking about that. How do you learn to move forward together? You got to read from the same book,
and you got to talk
to the same materials so that you can learn together how to put your plan in place.
Let me read this quote. Ron and Gladys Pemberton are dear friends of ours. They started by setting short-term goals and long-term goals to achieve what they wanted to accomplish. Ron says that a critical component of their success after setting a budget was to go from a me mindset that he had to a we mindset. He confessed that it took him a while to figure it out. A major mistake in his first few years of marriage helped him realize the importance of the we mindset. He liked, when he was single, he liked to get new cars all the time. And he typically bought a new one every year. One day he was driving home. He saw a beautiful new Mercedes as he rode by the dealership. And he stopped and talked to the salesman. He said to himself, wow, this would be great for me and Gladys to ride around in. So he bought the new car. And when he got home with the new car, he showed Gladys the new car, but she was not happy. They had a baby on the way, and he had not talked to her about buying the car. She reminded him that they were a team and that they had to be a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. And that was the first time he said, and the last time he made a decision of he made a big financial decision without talking to his wife. The most important lesson here is the value of communication and collaboration. It takes teamwork to make the dream work. So folks, you got to talk about the money. You got to talk about it. Now, we talk in the book about the 3-part strategies. We don't have time to do it tonight because we're almost out of time, but We give people, and we've had people who have been in dire straits who have reached out to us about mentoring them or coaching them, and some of them have gotten in our coaching program and said, hey, we need some help. We help them through it, but we give them a system rather than just saying, okay, y'all just do something simple and one person right, one person wrong. No, get a system, and the systems work. Our system works because we have never had an argument about money, because we created a system. And it works. And it has worked for 37 years and 2 weeks. Maybe 30, but we've been together 40 years. But before we got together, we weren't dealing with each other's money. But once we got together, we got the system. It worked. We set it in place. It works over and over again. It's the 3-part system. There's 1 part, 2 part, 3 part.
So you have to talk about it, which means you have to be willing to open up. It goes back to take away the pride.
You want to win that one? Oh, Lord have mercy. That's one of the issues, maybe. But it's not the, maybe it's, again.
Admit that something needs to be fixed. Okay.
Yeah.
Going back to that.
Now, Terrence just said, talk about the money before you get married. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. You got to talk about your money management ideas.
We talk about the things that we learned along the way that we wish we had known earlier on.
Well,
like
yeah.
One of the things that
buying a car.
Oh,
we bought a car. Now we bought it together. We bought a car.
Let's not.
Because we made poor management, money management.
Yes.
We bought a brand new car. And the man said, we'll give you 60 months financing. Ooh, okay. We wanted a Volvo. We had a little baby.
My dad said we needed a safe car for the baby.
You know, their grandparents, they wanted that baby to be protected. So we got the Volvo station wagon.
I didn't even ask.
We didn't ask
how much it was.
We didn't ask how much it was. We didn't ask. All we did, he said, well, he could make it work.
Rate?
We didn't ask none of that.
Nothing.
Mistakes, because we didn't know better. Once we learned better, though, we wrote a check. The car is paid for. We ride out. Okay, no interest payment. We got so much stuff we learned. We're going to dig into this, and then we're going to talk about the parts. We're going to talk about what happens when one spouse makes more money than the other person, and then lords it over them. What happens when you don't talk about the money and somebody spends money that wasn't allocated? Ooh. What happens when you don't have a budget and somebody starts spending? This is some good stuff. We're going to talk about that.
You need a budget.
We're going to talk about the relationship repair series Wednesday night. If you want to register, you go to jollymarriage.com/events. To jollymarriage.com/events. You can still register. We got 3 more sessions left.
Well, you will get all.
But you'll get all 6 programs. You get 5 sessions plus a bonus. So you'll get them all. You get the ones that have already been done, which are fabulous, by the way. That one last week on sex and intimacy. So tell your friends about it. Tell your family about it. Tell them to register right now. Go to jollymarriage.com/events. Last but not least is we want to encourage you to continue to tell your friends about this, that we're doing this every Monday night. We've been doing it for now a couple of years. We're going to 3 years. And we haven't missed Monday nights because we want to help marriages. Our goal in writing this book was to save 1 million marriages, enhance 1 million marriages, and help people to grow in their relationship. That's what we've been committed to do. We hope you're enjoying it. Thank you. Really hope that all the listeners can appreciate this broadcast and topic and help them save a lot of pain. Amen. And Olympia said, yes. Good conversation. Todd Tope is here. Sherry Elliott's here. We got so many friends coming from all over the world. We want to thank you
for being here.
Thank you. Share the replay you can go to happilymarriedmondays.com or our YouTube channel as well to get
send it to somebody who
really needs
just needs to have. It'll help start a conversation.
I know what I wanted to say. This is June is the month of marriage. A lot of people get married. Mm-hmm. Olympia Borley is one of the great marriage. What you call it? A marriage
wedding
planner, right? She's a wedding planner, and she goes all over doing these big wedding, fancy wedding
out of the country, destination weddings.
Yeah, she's awesome. Now, or something. I can't think of her.
Oh, she'll put it in there.
Put it in there, Olympia. I'll give it a shout out. But here's what we want. This is the marriage month. And in the marriage month, what we recommend, rather than giving people a wedding gift, a toaster, or something like that, give them these books. Give them the books. Give them something that'll keep them together. Toaster's not going to keep them married.
So
okay?
they will stay.
We want them to stay married. That's right. We want them to stay married. So go to jollymarriage.com. Get 2 copies of the book. Get them the bundle. That's a great gift. 2 books, 2 workbooks, an audio book, and a CD seminar. But if you can't get the bundle, just get 2 books and bless them with it. Because we want to help people stay married. And we got so many people getting married in the month of June. Olympia is busy this month. All right. Hey, D, a good broadcast will be once. D, a good broadcast will be one on listening. Ooh, we're gonna. That's a good one. Okay, Sharon, that's good.
How to listen.
Eldon McGee, thank you. Olympia, I think it's Orb Royal Treatment. Orb Royal Treatment, isn't it? ORB Royal Treatment is the name of her marriage. Look up Olympia Borley, and you'll see her marriage wedding.
She's a wedding planner, sweetie, specializing in destination weddings.
They're always fabulous. Okay, our time is up. Yes, Orb Royal Treatment. See, that's it. Okay, y'all check it out. We out. We're gonna go out with our music. Thank y'all. See you Wednesday night. Everybody, get on board. Register right now for this relationship repair series. People are registering. We've got more people today who registered. All right, Orb's Royal Treatment. See. I did it. My brain, that ginkgo works. Okay, Orb, ORBS, Orb's Royal Treatment. Go get it and check it out. She got great wedding planning. Okay, here we go with the music. See ya. Have a great one. Talk to you later.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.